Coming up on the Q30 Newscast, the university recently released the results from the Inclusive Excellence Campus Survey, what the results show about community opinions.
The end of the semester is approaching, which means it's time for course evaluations, why they're important to professors on campus.
And the 10th anniversary of the school shooting at Sandy Hook is next week. What has changed in the years since this tragedy?
All that and much more coming up on the Q30 Newscast. Hello and welcome to this edition of the Q30 Newscast. I'm Katie Cohen.
And I'm Olivia Cattell. We are so happy to be here tonight to bring you the latest Quinnipiac University updates.
We have a lot to cover tonight, starting with the recent Inclusive Excellence Campus Climate Survey.
The results of the survey were released to the campus community yesterday.
It asked students, faculty, staff, and administration questions about their opinions on diversity and inclusion relating to the university.
The survey asked if participants believe that diversity and inclusion is a priority to campus leadership. 87% of administration voted that it is a priority, while only 78% of students agreed.
The results also revealed that the community thinks about integration on campus. 44% of faculty and 57% of students say it is somewhat or very integrated.
Another highlight from the report discussed the overall perception of campus diversity. Only 21% of faculty and 32% of students agree that campus is diverse.
The report explains what the university is planning to do to go forward. A new Inclusive Excellence Action Team will be developed, and it will come up with an action plan based on the survey results.
With the semester coming to a close now, professors are asking students to fill out course evaluation forms.
Q30's Julia Barcello talked to professors and faculty about why these evaluations are so important.
On November 26th, the university sent out course evaluations to be completed by students by December 10th. The questionnaire asks students about their experiences in each of their classes this semester. Several professors explained the importance of students completing the evaluation.
So students are given a link to do the evaluations for each of their classes, and it's a unique link for each of those classes. It then gets compiled at the university level for each class, and the faculty gets back a de-identified report.
The evaluation is a great way for professors to receive feedback on their classes from students. Feedback is also taken into account when professors consider what could be changed semester to semester.
If we spend the time to really look at them, get past some of the disgruntled students or the students that were really good and really happy with their grade, you get to the truth of what works and what doesn't.
It's important for all students to complete course evaluations to prevent results being extreme on either side.
I think part of the problem is if it's not being required that students fill them out, if you have these very low response rates, it tends to be the people who either really love you or really hate you that fill out the evaluations. And that's why in my classes, I do everything I can to encourage everyone to fill them out.
While students are busy preparing for final exams and projects, course evaluations are how students can have their voices heard.
You spend an entire semester having to deal with feedback from us when we give you grades. It's only fair that you get your chance to have your say at the end of a semester too, and hopefully that'll shape what we do next.
Students have until the end of this week to send in their feedback. And for Q30 News, I'm Julia Barcello.
Thanks, Julia. For our poll this week on the Q30 News Twitter, we asked students if they fill out their course evaluations or not.
The poll was live for the past 24 hours and we just got the final results. According to the poll, with 23 votes, 78% of students complete their course evaluations and 22% do not.
To see our future polls and breaking news, make sure to follow us on Twitter at Q30 News. With finals coming up, the semester is drawing to a close, and the university will be closing on Friday, December 16th at 6 p.m. It will be opening back up for students on January 21st and 22nd. If you need to stay on campus this winter break, the winter break housing request form is now available on My Housing. It must be submitted by December 10th. When leaving for break, there are some things to remember. Residential Life asks students to unplug their refrigerators, close and lock all windows, take out the trash, and remove any prohibited items.
Before you leave campus for the semester, the new Recreation Wellness Center is offering guided tours of the new spaces. The tours will be held tomorrow, December 8th from 12 to 1 and will be 15 minutes long. Visitors can stop by anytime within the hour to see the new facilities and learn more about future programs.
Quinnipiac University was recognized for being an engaged campus when it comes to voting. All In just released their list of most engaged campuses for college students voting, which features schools that make an effort to increase nonpartisan democratic engagement and student voting. Quinnipiac is one of almost 400 schools across the country who received this honor.
Towns and counties across Connecticut have local emergency response teams that teach citizens how to prepare for potential hazards and disasters.
Quinnipiac is attempting to bring this initiative to campus and hosted an interested meeting earlier this week. Q30's Joe Monti spoke with the team to learn more about it.
Quinnipiac is adding a new federally sponsored program to the university that has the potential to get students and faculty involved in the community in a helpful way. It's called the Community Emergency Response Team, or CERT.
This is a program that is sponsored by FEMA. They basically train lay people in basic disaster response so that they can be supports to first responders.
Students and faculty who want to be in the program need to go through an 8-week training course where they will learn crucial information about helping themselves and the people around them.
You know, how to lift a heavy object off someone, how to visually inspect a building from the outside for structural damage to know if it's safe to go closer or not, how to put out a fire.
Becoming a part of CERT at Quinnipiac not only gives you good life skills, it prepares you for events you might experience right here on campus.
Blizzards, hurricanes, superstorms, tropical storms, tornadoes, those sorts of things where community life kind of shuts down. We were really reliant on people coming to our aid.
Bob Freeman, a longtime fireman, is the coordinator and lead trainer of the Hamden CERT team. He came to campus to help students understand what being a part of CERT is all about.
Our main concern is for the student safety, not only the student body, but the faculty also. And it's also going to send a message that we're doing everything we can to keep the students safe here on campus.
Students can help the local community with an array of situations, anywhere from traffic control to dramatic weather events and natural disasters.
We never can tell when we may have a major event as far as a weather event, which we've had many here in Hamden. But as far as planned events, possibly at a graduation ceremony, any large gathering with a lot of people.
Reporting for Q30 News, I'm Joe Monti.
The university will be offering a new Inclusive Diversity, Equity, and Learning, or IDEAL certificate program for undergraduate students. Those who participate will take 4 3-credit courses that are approved for the IDEAL curriculum. The program is meant to educate students about a wide array of human experiences with an emphasis on those of typically underrepresented groups.
We're a primarily white institution, and we have, we're working very hard to improve our diversity on this campus. And I do think we're getting better at that. But if we can teach people who are potentially in a position to be advocates how to do so, then we're putting better citizens out there.
The School of Business and the School of Communications held a Launchpad competition earlier tonight. The competition, similar to the show Shark Tank, gave students the chance to decide which businesses could make it at the next level. The students participating were finalists from the Digital Business and Entrepreneurial Media class, and the winner took home a cash prize.
This past Monday, the Student Artists League and Student Programming Board hosted a Women in the Arts Festival to celebrate the work of female artists on campus. Members of campus organizations such as Legends, Montage Literary Magazine, and Women in Film were invited to share their art and talk more about their experiences. Q30 spoke to a member of SPB about what they wanted students to gain from the event.
I hope that students get out of this event that there's opportunities for everyone and that there's representation for everyone, and really just that there's fun stuff everywhere, and it doesn't matter the title or who's involved, that on campus it's going to be great.
Well, it is time for our first break of the night, but there is still so much more to come. The 10th anniversary of the Sandy Hook school shooting is next week. See what has changed in the past decade.
And the final Senate race in the midterm elections was decided yesterday after a runoff election. Find out who won and what it means for Congress.
But first, we have Q30's meteorologist Tim Malone here to give us a preview of the weather report.
Tim, what can we expect for the next few days?
Thank you, Olivia and Katie. The weather's been a little weird for December. That cold air hasn't really come in yet. We had a very rainy day with some fog, but tomorrow that's going to clear up with a high of 55 and a low of 35. And then on Friday, a high of 46 and a low of 29. The weather may be frightful, but the Q30 newscast is always delightful. Stay tuned for the full forecast after this break.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
Come on, Drew, spot me on this last one. There it is. Keep going with it. Leo.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home.
Thanks for staying with us on the Q30 Newscast. 1 week from today, on December 14th, the nation will be remembering the 10th anniversary of the Sandy Hook school shooting.
Today, President Joe Biden joined the 10th annual nationwide vigil to honor the lives to gun violence. This vigil allows families, friends, and survivors to reflect on what this 10-year mark truly means for our nation.
Q30's Vanessa Blasi talked to Quinnipiac professors and students about how the country has changed since Sandy Hook.
On December 14, 2012, a teenage gunman took the lives of 20 children and 6 adults at Sandy Hook Elementary School.
Like, oh my God, my best friend could have lost her life that day.
10 years later, the Sandy Hook school shooting is still the second deadliest school shooting in the United States, forever changing the way most teachers come in each morning.
That same feeling of like, we're not safe, or this building is potentially like permeable by an outside force or intruder, was so like palpable between everyone that I felt like sand going through your hands. Like there was no way we were going to be able to make everyone safe.
Sandy Hook Elementary School is only 45 minutes away from Quinnipiac's campus, making this tragedy a very close hit to home for some students who are from Newtown.
There are just kids that can't even hear basketballs drop on the floor. Like it's still very, very disheartening. And even personally, living in Newtown, I was kind of scared that there would be a second attack.
Since the incident, Connecticut has added many gun safety laws, including broadening the definition of an assault weapon, banning the sale of some gun magazines, requiring a permit to buy guns and ammunition, and universal background check systems. Yet, many believe the country is still not doing enough.
Not enough. It's not nearly enough. I mean, the guns like these are more lethal than what I was using in the Army.
Many are wondering when this change will occur.
The definition of madness is to do the same thing and hope for different results. If we love our children, then we can't allow these kinds of things to happen.
For Q30 News, I'm Vanessa Blasi.
A lot has changed since 2012, and changes in politics continue to be made every day. The midterm elections are officially over, and the new Congress members are taking on their roles.
Q30's Mason Glad is live in the studio with more. Mason, what do you have for us?
Thank you, Katie and Olivia. We have a lot of political news to get into, so let's get started. Today, it was certified that incumbent Senator Raphael Warnock of Georgia has won the runoff election, defeating Republican challenger Herschel Walker. The victory lands Democrats a 51-49 majority in the Senate following the midterm elections. The victory also signifies a loss for former President Donald Trump, who backed Herschel Walker extensively throughout the midterm race. About 3.5 million votes were cast in the runoff election, slightly less than the 3.9 million votes cast on Election Day in November. Warnock will hold the Senate seat for 6 more years. Next, on Monday, the Supreme Court heard arguments in a case involving a Colorado-based web design company who refuses to do work for same-sex weddings, clashing with the state's anti-discrimination law. While conservative justices were sympathetic to First Amendment arguments made in the case, more liberal justices fear that a ruling on behalf of the web design company would create the opportunity for companies to refuse service to any minority groups. In questioning the company's lawyer, Justice Sonia Sotomayor asked, quote, "What's the limiting line of yours? How about people who don't believe in interracial marriage? Or about people who don't believe that disabled people should get married? Where's the line?" End quote. The court is expected to make a decision by next spring or early summer. Lastly, on Friday, Democrats advanced a plan to reorder the early voting states for their primary calendar for presidential elections. Under the new plan, unveiled by President Biden, South Carolina would be the first state on the primary calendar, pushing back Iowa and New Hampshire. The plan was proposed in attempts to increase diversity in states and include more battleground states in the process. Democratic National Committee Chairman Jamie Harrison spoke on the plan, saying, quote, "This proposal reflects the best of our party as a whole, and it will continue to make our party stronger," end quote. The plan still faces multiple hurdles before being enacted, with leaders in multiple states upset about the change to tradition. That's all I have for political news this week. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Mason. Coming up in your full forecast, find out what you can expect for the next week, plus where the temperatures lie across Connecticut right now.
Plus, hear about what's going on around the country, including recent developments in the Colorado club shooting. Stick with us.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. It's here. It's here. Wait. What?
I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Thanks for staying with us on the Q30 Newscast tonight. It has been pretty unseasonably warm for this time of year, Olivia.
It sure does not feel like December, Katie. This is the time of year where I would expect snow, but it has been raining all day.
Yeah, today was a rainy day across the state. And to tell us what we can expect for the rest of the week is Q30's meteorologist, Tim Malone. Tim, will we be seeing more showers?
No showers in the future, but today we saw the rain, we've seen the warmth. I want to talk about the weekend though. On Saturday, we got a high of 44 with a low of 28. It's going to be partly cloudy. On Sunday, there's going to be some chance of flurries that's going to be mixed in with some showers. High of 42, low of 32. High of 40 on Monday with a low of 27. And Tuesday, there's going to be some more sun with a high of 42, a low of 25. So people are looking for that holiday snow. You're going to have to wait a little bit longer. But let's take a look at temperatures across the state. Pretty similar all across. All in the 50s, 55 in Danbury, 56 down in New Haven, 55 up in Torrington, 57 up in Hartford, and 55 in Norwich, and 56 in New London, same as New Haven. I am now signing off for the last time as a newscast producer. Since joining last year, I've had the privilege to work with a bunch of talented people and create an amazing show. I will never forget the members here at Q30 and the wonderful work we've all accomplished together. A huge thank you to my Q30 cabinet, my news director Vanessa, and all the producers and general members that dedicate so much of their time to create something truly meaningful. Have a happy holiday, Bobcats.
Thank you so much, Tim. You will be dearly missed. And now one Quinnipiac professor is getting recognized on the global scale. Professor Christine Kinley, who is the founding director of Ireland's Great Hunger Institute, just received a $25,000 grant from the Irish government. The money will go towards creating a graphic novel based on the relationship between human rights activist Frederick Douglass and Daniel O'Connell. Q30 spoke to Professor Kinley about this honor.
And I think, just for my own students, there's a very high level of visual literacy. I think students increasingly like to use graphic novels, visuals as a way to learn and to explore certain issues. So I think the medium lends itself to young people. And I think it's an inspirational story and an inspiration to people who fight for social justice today.
A Native American Heritage Month exhibit is on display in the Arnold Bernhardt Library as well as virtually. Library staff, as well as the Indigenous Student Union and students from the Practicing Archaeology class, collaborated on this project, which features select books on Native American culture, artifacts found near the North Haven campus, and family heirlooms. The exhibit will be displayed until the end of the semester.
And we are going to turn now to some news from across the country. We have Q30's Andrew Reynolds here to tell us what you may have missed. Andrew, take it away.
Thank you, Katie and Olivia. Yesterday, prosecutors in the Club Q shooting formally charged Anderson Lee Aldrich with 305 counts, including hate crimes, assault, and murder. Aldrich walked into a gay bar in Colorado Springs, Colorado, wearing body armor and started firing an AR-15 style weapon, killing 5 people and injuring 17. This wasn't his first offense. Aldrich made bomb threats to his mother last year. Tens of thousands in a rural community in central North Carolina are without power due to a targeted attack on 2 electrical substations Saturday evening. According to police, shots were fired towards the substation, which reportedly caused the outage. The attackers are still at large and their motives are still unknown. As a result of the attack, schools were closed, a curfew was enacted, and thousands of North Carolinians are facing freezing nights without power. And on Friday, the body of a 7-year-old girl was found in Paradise, Texas, after she was reported missing 2 days earlier. The suspect, a 31-year-old FedEx driver, Tanner Lynn Horner, was detained on kidnapping charges and murder charges. Horner confessed to the girl's death and revealed the location of her remains, according to the local sheriff's office. Horner had no relationship with the girl. A vigil was held in her local community where hundreds of people gathered to mourn her death. That is your national news update for Q30. I'm Andrew Reynolds.
Still to come on the Q30 Newscast, a recap of the women's volleyball team's trip to Wisconsin. Q30's Nick Antoniadis will give us the highlights from the NCAA game.
Plus, one local bakery is getting in the holiday spirit, what they are doing to prepare for the busiest time of year. We'll be right back after this short break.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
Welcome back. We're not done yet. Winter sports are in full swing with the women's hockey team ranking at number 3 and the men's team taking the 2nd spot in the USCHO poll.
To tell us more, we have Q30's Nick Antoniadis. Nick, what do you have for us?
Thank you, Katie and Olivia. There was a lot to talk about in Quinnipiac sports, so let's just get right into it. The volleyball team traveled to Wisconsin to go up against the Wisconsin Badgers in the first round of the NCAA on Friday. The Bobcats would end up losing this game by a score of 3-0. The scores from each sets were 25-14, 25-9, and to end the game, 25-4. This season was still a season to remember for the Bobcats after having a 2-12 record at the beginning of October to playing their first ever NCAA game in program history. Coach Kyle Robinson and the team should be proud of what they have accomplished this season. Switching over to the women's ice hockey, as the Bobcats defeated both Union and RPI this past weekend by the scores of 5-0 and 3-0. Goaltender Katie Boudier would secure her 4th shutout of the season, and Logan Andrews would secure her 6th shutout of the season. After these wins, the Bobcats moved up to 3rd place in the USCHO Women's Ice Hockey poll. This is the highest ranking for the Bobcats since 2015. The Bobcats will look to keep this hot streak going as they go up against Providence on Friday and Saturday. Finally, going to the soccer field, as 3 women's soccer players were just named in the United States Coaches Division I All-American team. Rebecca Cook was named in the All-American first team after having an incredible season, scoring 22 goals and 7 assists with 51 points, helping to bring the Bobcats their MAC championship. 2 other players were named to the All-American third team, and those players were Olivia Scott and Kayla Mangachos. Scott ended the season with 5 goals and 2 assists with 12 points, and Kayla Mangachos, on the other hand, had stellar defense, getting 3 goals, 4 assists, and 10 points. And that is all I have for sports. Back to you two on the desk.
Thanks, Nick. The holidays are just a few weeks away, and since this is our last show of the semester, we want to spread a little holiday cheer. The university gave students a chance to show off their small businesses yesterday at the Holiday Student Business Pop-Up Shop. Students sold everything from food to fashion, and it was a great place to shop for gifts. Q30 spoke to the owner of Crafts by Aerie about this opportunity.
I think it's a great opportunity for entrepreneurs as well as people to just come and meet other people. It's a good networking opportunity too, especially around the holidays. People look for Christmas gifts and stuff. I have had multiple people come up and just be like, oh, this is perfect for so-and-so, and I love it. So,
this evening, the Student Programming Board hosted a gingerbread house competition in the dining hall. Students who attended the event competed in teams of 4 to build the best gingerbread house and were judged not only on creativity, but on speed as well. The 3 teams who came out on top earned a Keurig, a themed basket, and a baking set.
And some of the members of Q30 Television actually went and decorated us a gingerbread house, and this is their great creation. The holiday spirit is also spreading outside of our campus. A local bakery in East Haven is getting ready to celebrate the season.
Q30's Tim Malone visited Petnito's Bakery to find out just how this business is working hard to spread holiday cheer.
Desserts are an integral part of the holiday season. This means that local bakeries like Pentonito's have been extra busy lately preparing for the demand.
I started here when I was 16, back in 1983. I worked for Mr. Salvatore Petnito. I was here for 11 years, left to, go to college, become a teacher. And then 4 years ago, his son Mark was selling the business, so my husband and I decided to buy it. I've always wanted to own a bakery, and to be able to own this bakery had a lot of sentimental value. My husband and I met at this bakery, and this is where we fell in love, so there's a lot of history in this particular bakery for us.
There's a wide variety of desserts at Pentonito's, and they really get creative when finding new ideas for their sweets, such as cannoli wreaths, cannoli cookies, and even a large cannoli that is filled with cannolis, all handmade on a cannoli press from the 1930s.
Everybody pitches in with different types of ideas. I tend to always be pushing something new. I'm a teacher by trade, so I think, the teacher in me always comes out with new ideas. But everybody comes up with different ideas at different times here. So it's a family-run business, and even our staff is like our family. It's a small group of us, and everybody just pitches in to make everything work.
Here I have a Bobcat box, a Quinnipiac-themed assortment of cookies that Quinnipiac students can order, along with a wide variety of treats right here from Pentonito's down in East Haven, Connecticut. For Q30 News, I'm Tim Malone.
Thank you, Tim. Those treats look delicious. But unfortunately, that is all the time we have for tonight. But make sure to stay up to date on all your campus news by following Q30 News on Twitter.
You can also download the Q30 TV app, available on the Apple and Android stores, to see more content.
From myself, Olivia, the producers, and everyone behind the scenes, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Q30 Television will be back next year in 2023, January 20th, with a brand new episode of #That and Sports Pause.
Good luck on finals and happy holidays. Good night, Bobcats.